you here? All right.
Alright, so I'm defending the studio, or I'm on the side of the studio, and you guys are on the side of Mr. Rolls.
Yes.
Rock.
Okay, so I guess we'll start off with salary.
Okay. There are a couple issues that we need to go over.
Okay.
We spoke with our client previously, and he gave us a list of acceptable terms, so hopefully we'll be able to reach an agreement with you. I'm sure we will, because we both want to make this movie happen, make some money.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, salary. Do you have an offer for us, or?
$3 million.
That's insulting
Yes.
for our client.
It shouldn't be insulting, it's a hefty
is.
amount of money, but
Yeah, but not movie-wise. He's a pretty big movie star, and
he is pretty big, but I mean, we're still trying to make this on a relative budget, and while we want this to have the most success, your star is also, replaceable. As great as he is, there is a replaceable factor to him. So, how about we can go up to 325?
I mean, that is better, but as much as he is replaceable, he also has more movie offers. So if we can get movie offers that are higher, of course, he may walk away from this. So that isn't what
Well, what are
he
you
was
guys looking
shooting
for?
for. I mean, we were looking more like 375. He wanted closer to 4, but we kind of reasoned with him and told him that 375 is probably going to be the way to go.
He has been one of the top box office actors for the past 5 years.
Understandable,
I believe he deserves more than $3 million.
Oh yeah, definitely more.
I guess we could split the difference and call it a flat 3.5.
Okay, I think that would
Be acceptable.
That'd
be
be work.
doable for us.
Alright, so next is the percentage of return toward the client.
Okay.
We can give him probably 2%. I think 2% is a solid amount. I mean, we could give him everything up front, but we want to give him a little incentive base to encourage him to give the best performance he can.
I mean, once again, he's a huge draw to the box office. A lot of people are going to go to see his movies,
Absolutely.
and
That's why we're trying to give him a percentage, because we know it will make a lot of money if he puts in his good work, and we want him to reap some of the rewards for that.
there have been studios that have given out 4 to 5%.
We understand
So-
5 may be a little bit
Yes.
steep, and we appreciate the 2%, and because there isn't a percentage at all, but we were looking more towards the 3-4 range.
Well,
I don't think it's unreasonable, especially because if he is the main star, he will be the reason that people are going to see the movie if it does do well, which we assume it will.
well, yeah, and we obviously want it to be just as successful, so we want to give him a percentage. We want him to do the best he can and to
Right.
make as much money as he can, because the more he makes, the more we make. But to the same effect, we're the one producing the film, we're the ones doing all the real legwork. He's just the single actor leading the film. There's still a lot of other pieces that go into it, and that percentage should be returned back to us because we're the ones doing all the extra work. I still think 2% is what we should end up at.
Did you get anything, do you have any percentage of what goes towards the studio? Did he give you anything on that? Okay,
No,
so this
just
is
how much
solely
we go for.
on, okay. I mean, I don't think he would be very pleased with that, especially because his name on the billboards would get everyone into the theaters. And as much as you guys do a lot of work, I'm sure he will also be the focal point of the movie, and he will actually be seen the entire time. So it's his presence in the movie that will draw people to the theater.
And
So as
just
much
to-
as all the editing and everything.
And
that's
just to be
happening.
blunt, your studio is great, but people don't go to the movies to see the studio that produces the film. They go to see the actor.
I think we can give 3%. I think we can do 3%.
Yeah, 3 is 3 we can do.
Okay. Location.
Yes.
Location.
So, being that you are the studio, we assumed that you would have some sort of setting in mind.
We want to go to Thailand.
Yeah. I thought that's what it was gonna be. Okay. So is there a reason you want to go to Thailand?
It provides a proper landscape for the film that we're trying to make. And
What
it would
is
just
that landscape? Do you know? Like any idea?
no.
Okay.
I'm just trying to spitball this one. It's got the proper landscape that we're looking for, and the cost, for the most part, would be cheaper on the company.
Okay. All right. So
It's a bit of a travel, but
yeah.
we think it really creates the perfect place for this movie.
Okay. So typically, I think it's sort of like an island, something desert
Mhm.
island.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pacific
so-
island.
we read the script and it looks like it's Pacific Island, and to be honest, so is Hawaii. It's also Pacific Island, and that's something that our client would really like, because shooting a film, it takes time, and he would like to have his family and stuff to be able to visit him so that he can have his off time while he's filming. And in Thailand, that just seems
It's impossible.
too far gone.
Yeah, it definitely is impossible.
Well, if you guys are more interested in his downtime and him being with his family while he's in production, maybe LA would be the better answer, since Hawaii is also still off. There's traveling involved. It's not in the continental U.S.
Yeah.
LA, we could all just stay there.
I mean,
and
if you're willing to go for LA,
yeah, I think we can handle. I think we can pull off LA. We have all the materials necessary to create it in studio.
Okay.
all right, LA definitely works for us then, because that's where he lives, so that will give him the most time with his family, so that would be perfect. We'll be really pleased with that.
All right, now to the schedule.
This is going to be the killer.
If he wants the most downtime possible to be with his family, we can wrap this in 4 weeks. You can do it in 4. It'll be long days. It'll be intensive, but we can crank this out in 4 weeks, and then he'll have all the time he wants to be with, take his family wherever he wants to go.
That is a good point, but he is more focused on losing those 4 weeks. He would rather have small amounts of time during those weeks instead of just blasting right through it.
While on set.
Yeah,
Because doing 4 weeks, that would mean working every single day.
14
and up
hours
to
a
about
day.
14 hours a day. Now, that's
But it'd be
That's-
done in 4 weeks. It would be, and then that's.
But
he
he
can,
wouldn't
he can
be
go
able to
take
see
a
his
4 week
family.
vacation after that.
That to us is just humanly impossible.
Yeah, and he does want to. He has more films to go on to after this, so it's not like he
Even
can
better
take a
reason to
break.
get it done in 4 weeks, so he can get on with his career.
Yeah, but then there's also the family time that he's missing out on.
I also say that it's sort of impossible for a studio to make an actual film at that set time that they say, and especially 4 weeks is a short amount of time. There's always setbacks, and there's always problems that happen during filming. So,
So what are you guys looking to do?
I mean, his main concern is just clearly the 4 hours. He was just basically laughed at that. He said that that is just unreasonable. He gets very tired when he's on the set, so it's not going to be really his best work if he has to work 14 hours a day, and that's just, he thinks that that's impossible, and it'll just prolong the movie, and it will end up being a longer time. So if we space it out more, maybe we'll have more time, kind of like more leeway. We'll be able to space it out more. We'll get everything done when it's supposed to be done instead of being delayed and having to be set back. So, I mean, we were shooting for more like the 8-10. I know that's like a lot
long
longer
time.
than you wanted it, but
It's literally double what we were looking
yeah, yeah.
to do. Well, considering it's all being done in LA, and there's a lot less traveling to be done, I think. And in order to get him done with this, moving him on, I think we can crank this out in 6 weeks. That'll give us an extra week of downtime. That'll alleviate 4 hours a day from his schedule, and still wrap this up in time to get him to do whatever he wants to do.
Okay.
We can do 6.
I think we can work with that.
Yeah, 6.
That'll give us a little extra time to
That'll
work
give
with
us
any
extra time.
issues that may occur.
Right, that'll take care of his family time as well. Okay, so the director,
Director's control.
yes. I didn't know this was an issue that could be negotiated, but apparently it is quite an
Yeah.
issue.
Is it
Yeah.
still recording?
I hope so.
Yeah, it is. Read that.
Just checking.
Crap.
Just want to check.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Ignore this part of the, okay, hopefully.
Okay.
It's still going, yeah, 10 minutes. Now, back to the director,
Okay, so for director control,
yes.
it would really be better if we just took full control over the directorship.
Why, is there a reason that you feel that way?
Yeah, because it's our script. We're hiring all the other actors. We're hiring all the workers to do it. You know, having the right leading guy to handle all those people and to work with the film that we are pushing for so hard is, you know, very important to us.
Okay, we completely understand that, and that's what we thought originally, but then after talking to our client, we realized that in the past, he has had some troubles, some difficulties with some directors, and I'm sure you've been in the business long enough to know that when there's a problem between the lead actor and the director, things don't go as smoothly, their problems arise, all of those things, so,
And I believe we both want this to go smoothly.
yes, definitely.
In my experience, that trouble rises more with the joint control because they both, you know, the battle over who the director is ends up taking longer than necessary.
Right.
So, and I understand that he tends to work with great directors and recruit very good directors, but we would feel better if we had complete control of who the director was. We'll take his advice, but we still.
So maybe we could do some sort of joint control
Yeah.
that's limited. So like, really our main concern is that when a director's chosen, if he has had some issues with them in the past, that it won't just be set in stone, like this is our director, this is gonna happen. If we could just have the amount of control that would be necessary to be like, well, in the past, we've worked together, has not worked out, we do not get along. Just that much control that kind of vetoes it for a valid reason.
So, how about this? Here's what we can do. We can do a joint control where your client gives us a list of two lists. One of the list of directors he tends to work with and enjoys, and a
Okay.
blacklist that he won't work with.
Okay.
And from those two lists, we can help compile something in the middle.
Okay, and if
Okay.
there is people who aren't, if there are people who aren't on either list, is that going to arise, or is it just going to be kind of pick from,
Pick from the list.
yeah? Like, do you think that there will be, maybe we
that's a
should
good
compile the
question.
list together? And then from that list, you guys will have the okay list and you'll be able to pick from whoever you want from that?
How about this? He can give us a blacklist, and then from there, we'll pick out a list of directors we would like to choose, and he can choose a director from there.
Okay,
And we can go from there if he doesn't see one he likes, and we can readdress the situation later. But for now, it seems like the best would be a limited joint control.
yeah, that works for us.
Works for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
And finally, public tours. All right. Well, in the interest of making the most money, the more tours he goes on, the better.
Right.
Obviously, he would dislike doing a lot of time on these tours because he's a family man and likes to
Right.
work on the other movies. But yeah, so let's. How about we'll do 4 public tours to start with.
I mean, 4 is definitely more than we were expecting to do. We kind of talked to our client. He, of course, did not want to do any tours, but of course he knows that's unreasonable. He needs to do tours.
He knows it's
basically,
necessary.
yeah, he knows it's necessary. He understands that the more tours he goes on, the more money he will make, but there's also the fact that he does not like to go on tours. So we kind of talked to him and we came up with this plan that the publicity and the schedule would kind of go hand in hand. And he agreed that if it was 6 weeks that he would do 2 tours, just because the time constraint already, there's only 6 weeks. He doesn't really have a lot of time with his family as it is if the entire movie is being filmed in 6 weeks. So doing 2 tours would also take away from that time, but it's not completely unreasonable because he does need to go on tours.
Well, I don't know if 2 is enough to make enough of a public splash. You know, just stopping in New York and LA wouldn't be
Right.
enough. But if we do a 3rd one, pick up another major city, I think that would be fine. Would you be willing to do 3?
Yeah, I mean, I think 3, I think you would know better than he would about the effect of the publicity tours rather than just being tired and complaining.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
All right, so just to be clear,
3.5 for salary.
yes,
We got 3%.
yes,
You want to shooting in LA in 6 weeks
Yep.
with limited joint control and 3 public tours.
correct.
You got yourself a deal.
Done and done. Midway through everything.
Bam.